What if a single song on a subway platform could bridge decades of pain and bring two strangers together in a moment of pure magic? Meet Sergeant Lena Harper, a 35-year-old female soldier, standing on a bustling New York City subway platform, her guitar in hand, her voice ready to soar. Across from her sits Walter "Walt" Jenkins, an 82-year-old veteran, his eyes distant with memories of war. When Lena begins to play, their worlds collide in a performance that will surprise everyone. A story of music, healing, and a happy ending that will warm your heart. Stay tuned, because this tale of harmony and hope will leave you in tears of joy. Lena's life is a rhythm of discipline and duty, her army uniform a second skin after years of service in Afghanistan. She's on leave in NYC, her guitar a constant companion, a way to soothe the scars of war that linger in her soul. Walt, a Korean War vet, rides the subway daily, his cane tapping a slow beat, his mind often lost in the past. The platform at 42nd Street is alive with the hum of commuters, the air thick with the scent of coffee and steel. As Lena tunes her guitar, her fingers trembling with a mix of nerves and anticipation. Walt watches, his weathered hands clutching a worn photo, a flicker of curiosity in his faded blue eyes. Now, step into Lena's boots, the guitar strap heavy on your shoulder, the crowd's eyes on you. You're a soldier who finds solace in music, but you notice Walt, an old vet, looking lost in his memories. Do you play a song you think might reach him, hoping to lift his spirits, even if it means bearing your own vulnerabilities? Or do you stick to your usual set, keeping your emotions guarded, unsure if he'd even care? Drop your choice in the comments below, and let's see what you do in Lena's place. While you're there, please subscribe to Daily Narrated Stories. We're racing to 1,000 subscribers, and your support brings us closer to sharing more tales like this, stories of connection and joy that touch the soul. Hit that button, join our family, and let's dive into Lena and Walt's story together. The 42nd Street subway platform buzzes with the energy of a Monday morning in New York City, the air thick with the scent of burnt coffee from a nearby vendor, the metallic tang of the tracks, and the faint musk of 100 hurried commuters. The platform's tiled walls are streaked with grime, the fluorescent lights flickering overhead, casting a harsh glow that reflects off the concrete floor, a patchwork of scuffs and discarded tickets. Lena adjusts her guitar strap, the worn leather digging into her shoulder, a familiar weight that grounds her amidst the chaos, the strap's frayed edges brushing against her army fatigues, neatly pressed despite her casual setting. Her dog tags glint under the lights as she strums a tentative chord, the sound swallowed by the screech of an arriving train, its brakes hissing like a sigh of exhaustion. Her fingers tremble, not from the cold, though the November air bites through her jacket, a chill that seeps into her bones, but from the vulnerability of playing in public, of baring her soul to strangers. She's a soldier, trained to be unbreakable, her posture rigid, her movements precise. But music is her soft spot, a place where the walls she's built come down, where the memories of war, explosions, screams, the weight of a fallen comrade, find their way out. Their echoes a haunting melody she can't silence. Across the platform, Walt sits on a bench, his cane propped against his knee, its rubber tip worn from years of use, the wood scratched and faded like the man himself. His trench coat is threadbare at the cuffs, the gray wool faded to a muted ash, a relic of better days, its pockets stuffed with crumpled tissues and a subway map he doesn't need. In his hands, he holds a creased photo, the edges curled with age, of a young woman in a 1950s dress, her smile bright, her eyes sparkling with a love that time hasn't dimmed, her dark hair swept into a bun, a single curl framing her face. Walt's own eyes, a pale blue clouded by age, are distant, lost in memories of Korea, the frozen mud of the Chosin Reservoir, the crack of gunfire, the bitter cold that seeped into his bones and never quite left, a chill that lingers even now, decades later. He rides the subway daily, a ritual to fill the empty hours since his wife, Ellie, passed a decade ago. Her laughter a melody he can still hear in the quiet moments, a song he fears he'll forget, a tune that slips further away with every passing day, leaving a hollow ache in his chest. Lena notices Walt as she tunes her guitar, the strings humming softly under her fingers, the sound a gentle whisper against the platform's din, a melody that struggles to rise above the clatter of footsteps and the distant rumble of another train. There's something about him. The slump of his shoulders, the way his thumb traces the photo, his fingers trembling slightly with age, that tugs at her heart, a recognition of shared pain, of battles fought and scars carried, a kinship that transcends the years between them. She's seen that look before, in the eyes of her platoon mates after a grueling mission, in the mirror after a rough night when the nightmares come, their shadows lurking in the corners of her mind. Something inside her stirs, a need to reach out, to connect, to offer a moment of solace to this old vet who seems so lost in his past, so adrift in the present. She could play her usual set, safe, upbeat songs that earn tips, songs that keep her emotions at a distance, a shield against the vulnerability of the moment. But her gut tells her to choose something different, something that might touch this man, that might bring a flicker of light to his shadowed eyes, a spark of hope to a heart that's been dimmed by time. Lena takes a deep breath, the cold air sharp in her lungs, a bite that reminds her of winter nights in Afghanistan, the stars above a stark contrast to the darkness below, the chill a constant companion on patrol. She begins to play the Tennessee Waltz, a song her grandfather taught her, a melody that's always felt like home, its notes carrying the warmth of family, the comfort of simpler times, the love that sustained her through her darkest moments. Her voice rises, clear and strong, cutting through the platform's noise like a beacon, the notes carrying a warmth that contrasts with the November chill, a warmth that wraps around her like a blanket, shielding her from the memories that threaten to surface. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz. The words are a gentle caress, a memory of simpler times, and the crowd slows, some pausing to listen, their footsteps softening on the concrete, their hurried breaths easing as the song weaves its magic, a spell that binds them together in this fleeting moment. Lena's fingers dance across the strings, her calluses a testament to years of playing, each note a piece of her soul, her heart pouring into every chord, her own memories of loss, of a friend lost to an IED, of nights spent staring at the stars, wondering if she'd make it home, lending the song a raw, aching beauty. She remembers the first time she played in Afghanistan, her squad gathered around a small fire, the desert stretching endlessly around them, the crackle of the flames a counterpoint to her guitar, her voice a lifeline in the dark, a reminder of home, of hope, of humanity. She played the Tennessee Waltz, then, her friend Marcus singing along, his laughter a balm for their fears, his voice a harmony that made the night less lonely, less terrifying. Marcus didn't make it home, his life ended by a roadside bomb, his laughter silenced, his absence a wound that never quite heals, a scar that throbs with every note she plays, every memory she revisits. Walt's head jerks up, the photo slipping slightly in his grip, his fingers tightening around it as if it's a lifeline, a tether to the past that keeps him grounded in the present. His eyes sharpen as the song reaches him, a melody that pulls him from the fog of memory, a sound that pierces the haze of his grief, his loneliness, his longing. The Tennessee Waltz was Ellie's favorite, the song they danced to at their wedding in '54, her laughter bright as they spun across the floor, her hand warm in his, her voice humming along, a melody that filled their small apartment with joy, even in the lean years, even when the war's shadow loomed large. He blinks, tears welling in his eyes, the platform blurring as the past and present collide, Lena's voice a bridge across the decades, a lifeline to a love he thought he'd lost to time, a love that lives in every note, every lyric, every beat of his heart. He stands, his cane tapping a shaky rhythm on the concrete, the sound a counterpoint to the song's gentle flow, and shuffles closer, the crowd parting for him like a sea, their whispers fading as they sense the moment unfolding, the air growing heavy with anticipation, the scent of coffee and steel now laced with the salt of unshed tears. Lena notices Walt's approach, her heart skipping a beat, her fingers faltering for a moment on the strings before she finds her rhythm again, her voice steadying as she sings the final verse, the words a prayer, a promise, a plea. Walt stops a few feet away, his cane trembling in his hand, his lips moving silently to the lyrics, a tear tracing a path down his weathered cheek, glistening in the fluorescent light like a star in the night sky, a beacon of emotion in the platform's harsh glow. When the song ends, the platform is silent, the crowd holding its breath, the hum of the subway a distant murmur, as if the world has paused to witness this fragile connection, this moment of shared healing, this intersection of two lives bound by war, by loss, by love. "Sir," Lena says, her voice soft, a soldier's strength tempered by compassion, her eyes searching his, seeking to understand the depth of his reaction. "That song, did it mean something to you?" Walt nods, his throat tight with emotion, his voice a raspy whisper as he speaks, each word a struggle against the tears that threaten to spill, each syllable a bridge to the past, to Ellie, to the man he used to be. "That was my Ellie's song. We danced to it at our wedding. She's been gone 10 years, but I heard her in your voice, felt her in every note." Lena's eyes widen, her heart clenching with a mix of sorrow and awe, her fingers still resting on the strings, the guitar a silent witness to the moment, its wood scratched and worn, a map of her own journey, her own battles, her own healing. "I'm so sorry for your loss," she says, her voice thick with emotion, her own tears threatening to spill. "But I'm glad I could bring her back, even for a moment." Walt smiles, a small, tremulous thing that lights up his face, a flicker of the man he used to be, the man Ellie loved, the man who danced with her under a sky full of stars, who held her through the hard years, who loved her until her last breath. "You're a soldier, aren't you?" he asks, his eyes tracing the lines of her uniform, the dog tags glinting at her neck, a recognition that only a fellow vet could see, a shared language of service, of sacrifice, of survival. Lena nods, her throat tight, her own memories surging, sandstorms in Kandahar, the weight of a rifle, the ache of losing Marcus, the night she'd played her guitar to keep the darkness at bay, the fear that she'd never find peace. "Yes, sir. Sergeant Lena Harper, 101st Airborne." Walt's smile widens, pride shining in his eyes, a pride that transcends the years between them, a pride that speaks of shared battles, shared scars, shared strength. "I was 101st too, Korean War. You've got a gift, Sergeant. Thank you for sharing it." The crowd begins to clap, a soft, respectful applause that grows into a wave, the sound a warm embrace in the cold air, a celebration of the connection they've witnessed, of the healing power of music, of memory, of shared humanity, their hands coming together in a rhythm that echoes the song's gentle beat, a melody of support, of love, of hope. Lena blushes, her cheeks warming despite the chill, her heart swelling with a mix of gratitude and awe, and sets her guitar down. The case's scratched surface a testament to her journey, a map of the places she's been, the battles she's fought, the songs she's sung. She steps forward to shake Walt's hand, his grip surprisingly strong, his palm rough with the scars of a life hard-lived, a life that's seen war, love, loss, and now, in this moment, healing. "I'd love to hear about Ellie," she says, her voice gentle, an invitation to share, to connect, to heal, her eyes warm with a soldier's empathy, a musician's heart. They sit on the bench, the platform's noise fading into the background, the crowd moving on, leaving them in a bubble of quiet intimacy, the air now carrying the faint scent of Walt's aftershave, a hint of cedar that reminds Lena of her grandfather, of evenings spent on his porch, his guitar in her hands, his stories of the Great Depression a lesson in resilience, in love, in music. Walt tells her about Ellie, how they met at a dance hall in '53, the lights dim, the band playing a slow tune, her dress a soft blue that matched her eyes, her laughter a melody that drew him in, a sound that made the world brighter, even in the shadow of war. He tells her how she'd laughed at his two left feet, how they'd spun across the floor, her hand warm in his, her voice humming along, a harmony that made his heart soar, a moment he'd carry with him through the frozen hell of Korea, a memory that kept him alive when the cold and the gunfire threatened to break him. He tells her how they'd built a life together despite the war's shadow, how Ellie had worked as a seamstress to support them while he recovered, her fingers nimble with a needle, her smile a beacon in the darkness, her voice a melody that filled their small apartment with joy, even when the bills piled up, even when the war's memories came knocking. He tells her of Ellie's final days, her hand weak in his, her smile faint but still there, her voice a whisper as she told him to keep dancing, to keep loving, to keep living, a promise he struggled to keep, a promise that Lena's song has reminded him of, a promise he's determined to honor. Lena listens, her heart aching with every word, her own losses echoing in his story. The friend she couldn't save, the nights she'd played her guitar to keep the darkness at bay, the fear that she'd never find peace, never find a place where the war couldn't reach her, where the memories couldn't hurt her. She thinks of Marcus, of the last time they'd played together, his laughter ringing out over the desert, his voice a harmony to her melody, a moment of light in the darkness, a moment that ended in fire and blood, his life snuffed out by a roadside bomb, his absence a wound that never quite heals, a scar that throbs with every note she plays, every memory she revisits. She tells Walt about Marcus, her voice soft, her words a confession, a sharing of pain, of loss, of the healing she's found in music, in the songs that keep Marcus alive, that keep her alive, that keep the darkness at bay. She tells him of her first deployment, the fear that gripped her as she stepped off the plane in Kandahar, the sand hot beneath her boots, the air thick with dust, the weight of her rifle a constant reminder of the danger that lurked in every shadow. She tells him of Marcus, of his laughter, his kindness, his love for music, how they'd play together under the stars, their voices a harmony that made the night less lonely, less terrifying, a harmony that ended in fire and blood, his life snuffed out by a roadside bomb, his absence a wound that never quite heals, a scar that throbs with every note she plays, every memory she revisits. I play to remember, Lena admits, her voice soft, her fingers tracing the edge of her guitar case, the wood scratched from years of travel, a map of her journey, of the places she's been, the battles she's fought, the songs she's sung. In Afghanistan, music was the only thing that kept me sane. I'd play for my squad, songs like this, to remind us of home, to remind us we were still human, to remind us there was something worth fighting for, something worth coming back to. Walt nods, his eyes glistening, a shared understanding passing between them, a bond forged in the crucible of war, in the healing power of song, a connection that transcends the years, the battles, the scars they both carry. You've got a gift, Lena, he says again, his voice stronger now, a warmth in his tone that wasn't there before, a warmth that speaks of hope, of healing, of a future he thought he'd lost. Don't ever stop playing. Their conversation is interrupted by a young man in a suit, his briefcase swinging as he approaches, his face a mix of excitement and urgency, the scent of his cologne sharp in the air, a contrast to the platform's gritty aroma. "Excuse me," he says, his voice cutting through the quiet, a note of enthusiasm in his tone that draws the attention of nearby commuters, their heads turning, their whispers growing louder, a ripple of curiosity spreading through the crowd. "I'm David Ellis, a producer with a local radio station. I heard your performance. It was incredible, like something out of a dream, a moment of magic in the middle of this chaos. We're hosting a Veterans Benefit concert this weekend, and I'd love for you to perform, maybe even with Mr. Jenkins here, if he's willing to share his story. It could raise a lot for veterans' families, make a real difference for those who need it most." Lena's eyes widen, her heart racing with a mix of fear and hope, her mind spinning with the possibilities, the risks, the chance to make a difference, to honor Marcus, to honor Walt, to honor all the veterans who've given so much, who've lost so much, who deserve so much more. Lena hesitates, her fingers tightening around her dog tags, the metal cool against her skin, a reminder of her duty, her fears, her past, a talisman that's seen her through the darkest moments, through the fire and the blood, through the nights when she thought she'd never see another dawn. She could say no, keep her music private, safe, a shield against the vulnerability of the spotlight, a sanctuary where she can hide from the world, from the memories that threaten to overwhelm her. Or she could say yes, step into the unknown, share her gift with the world, and maybe, just maybe, help others heal as she has helped Walt, create a legacy that Marcus would be proud of, a legacy of hope, of healing, of harmony. She thinks of Marcus, of the promise she'd made at his graveside, to live fully, to honor his memory, to find a way to make the world brighter, even in the smallest ways, even through a song on a subway platform. She thinks of Walt, of the light in his eyes, of the way her music brought Ellie back to him, if only for a moment, of the bond they've forged in this fleeting encounter, a bond that feels like destiny, like a melody waiting to be sung. "What do you think, Walt?" she asks, her voice steady despite the storm in her heart, her eyes searching his for guidance, for courage, for a sign that this is the right path, the path she's meant to take. Walt smiles, a full, genuine smile that lights up his face, a smile that Ellie would have loved, a smile that speaks of a man who's found a reason to keep going, a reason to keep loving, a reason to keep living. "I think Ellie would be proud," he says, his voice firm, a soldier's resolve in every word, a promise to keep fighting, to keep loving, to keep living, a promise to honor the woman who'd been his everything, to honor the soldier who's given him a piece of her back, to honor the future they can build together, one note at a time. The days leading up to the concert are a whirlwind of preparation, a symphony of effort and emotion that binds Lena and Walt even closer, their shared purpose a melody that resonates in every moment they spend together. They meet daily at Walt's small apartment in Brooklyn, a modest space filled with memories of Ellie, her sewing machine in the corner, its needles still threaded with blue silk, her favorite chair by the window, its cushions faded but soft, a framed photo of their wedding day on the mantle, their smiles a testament to a love that's endured beyond death. The air carries the scent of old books and the faint tang of pipe tobacco, a reminder of Walt's younger days, of evenings spent with Ellie, their laughter filling the space, their love a warmth that lingers even now. Lena brings her guitar, its scratched surface a map of her journey, its strings humming with the promise of healing, of hope, of harmony. She teaches Walt the chords to the Tennessee Waltz, her fingers guiding his, their movements slow and deliberate, a dance of patience and trust, a melody that builds with every strum, every note, every shared smile. Walt's hands tremble at first, the arthritis in his fingers a constant ache, a reminder of the years, the battles, the losses, but Lena's patience is a balm, her encouragement a light that guides him through, her voice a harmony that makes the pain fade, if only for a moment. They practice other songs too, Lena's originals, born from the deserts of Afghanistan, their lyrics a testament to the resilience she's found, the hope she's clung to, the love she's carried through the darkness, songs that Walt listens to with a reverence that makes her heart swell, a pride that makes her feel seen, truly seen, for the first time in years. Walt shares more stories of Ellie, each one a piece of a puzzle that Lena pieces together, a picture of a woman who loved fiercely, who laughed freely, who lived fully, even in the face of hardship, even in the shadow of war. He tells her of their first date, a picnic in Central Park, the grass cool beneath them, Ellie's laughter bright as she fed him a strawberry, her fingers brushing his, a touch that set his heart racing, a moment he'd carry with him through the frozen hell of Korea, a memory that kept him alive when the cold and the gunfire threatened to break him. He tells her of the lean years, when they'd lived on love and little else, Ellie's sewing keeping them afloat, her smile a beacon in the darkness, her voice a melody that filled their small apartment with joy, even when the bills piled up, even when the war's memories came knocking. He tells her of Ellie's final days, her hand weak in his, her smile faint but still there, her voice a whisper as she told him to keep dancing, to keep loving, to keep living, a promise he struggled to keep, a promise that Lena's song has reminded him of, a promise he's determined to honor. Lena shares her own stories, her voice soft, her words a confession, a sharing of pain, of loss, of the healing she's found in music, in the songs that keep Marcus alive, that keep her alive, that keep the darkness at bay. She tells Walt of her first deployment, the fear that gripped her as she stepped off the plane in Kandahar, the sand hot beneath her boots, the air thick with dust, the weight of her rifle a constant reminder of the danger that lurked in every shadow. She tells him of Marcus, of his laughter, his kindness, his love for music, how they'd play together under the stars, their voices a harmony that made the night less lonely, less terrifying, a harmony that ended in fire and blood, his life snuffed out by a roadside bomb, his absence a wound that never quite heals, a scar that throbs with every note she plays, every memory she revisits. Their bond grows with every story, every song, every shared moment, a connection that transcends the years, the battles, the scars they both carry, a friendship that feels like destiny, like a melody waiting to be sung. Lena feels a lightness she hasn't known since before the war, a joy that blooms in her chest, a hope that maybe, just maybe, she can find peace, can honor Marcus, can make a difference, one note at a time. Walt feels a spark he thought he'd lost, a reason to keep going, a way to honor Ellie, to keep her memory alive, to share her love with the world, a love that's as vibrant now as it was in '54, a love that lives in every chord, every lyric, every beat of his heart. The weekend arrives, and the concert venue, a small theater in Brooklyn, is packed with veterans, their families, and supporters, the air filled with the scent of popcorn and the buzz of anticipation, the stage lights casting a warm glow over the crowd, a glow that feels like a promise, like a homecoming. Lena stands backstage, her guitar in hand, her uniform pressed, her heart pounding with nerves, the weight of the moment pressing down like the weight of a rucksack on a long march, a weight she's carried before, a weight she knows she can bear. Walt is beside her, his cane tapping a steady rhythm, his trench coat replaced by a suit that fits him like a memory, its fabric soft against his skin, its buttons polished to a shine, a suit that Ellie would have loved, a suit that makes him feel like the man he used to be, the man who danced with her under a sky full of stars. He has the photo of Ellie tucked in his pocket, a talisman of love and strength, a reminder of why he's here, why he's fighting, why he's living. When they take the stage, the crowd falls silent, the air thick with expectation, the scent of anticipation mingling with the faint tang of stage lights, a scent that's both foreign and familiar, a reminder of the battles they've fought, the stages they've stood on, the lives they've touched. Lena begins to play, her voice rising, clear and strong, the notes of the Tennessee waltz filling the theater like a warm embrace, a melody that carries the weight of love, of loss, of healing, a melody that wraps around the crowd like a blanket, shielding them from the darkness, from the pain, from the loneliness that so many of them carry. Walt joins in, his voice raspy but steady, the harmony between them a testament to their shared journey, their shared pain, their shared hope, a harmony that transcends the years, the battles, the scars they both carry, a harmony that speaks of love, of healing, of home. The crowd listens, spellbound, tears glistening in their eyes, hands clasped, hearts open, as the song weaves its magic, a bridge across generations, a lifeline to those who've fought, who've loved, who've lost, a lifeline to a future where healing is possible, where joy is possible, where love is possible. Lena's fingers dance across the strings, her calluses a testament to years of playing, each note a piece of her soul, her heart pouring into every chord, her memories of Marcus, of Afghanistan, of the nights she'd played to keep the darkness at bay, lending the song a raw, aching beaut. Why that resonates in every heart, every soul, every tear that falls. As the song ends, Lena speaks, her voice trembling with emotion, her eyes shining with pride, with gratitude, with love, her words a prayer, a promise, a plea for a world where veterans are honored, where families are supported, where love is celebrated. This is for all the veterans who've given so much, for their families who've stood by them, for the love that carries us through the darkest times. Walt and I, we've found healing in music, in each other, and we hope you find it too. Hope you find a way to heal, to love, to live. The crowd erupts, a standing ovation that shakes the theater, the sound a wave of love, of support, of healing, the air now filled with the scent of tears and the warmth of shared humanity, a warmth that wraps around Lena and Walt, a warmth that feels like home, like family, like hope. The concert raises thousands for veterans' families, a lifeline for those in need, a legacy that will live on long after the notes have faded, a legacy of love, of healing, of harmony. Lena and Walt continue to perform together, their duo a symbol of hope, their music a bridge across generations, a reminder that healing is possible, that love endures, that even in the darkest moments, there is light, there is music, there is joy. The theater lights dim, But the glow of Lena and Walt's performance lingers, a warmth that fills the heart long after the music has stopped. Their story, born on a subway platform, has become a symphony of healing, a testament to the power of connection, of music, of shared scars that bind us together. Lena, a soldier who found her voice, and Walt, a veteran who found his light. They've shown us that even in the busiest of places, in the quietest of moments, we can find each other, lift each other, heal each other. Their happy ending is a reminder that love, courage, and hope can bridge any divide, that every song, every act of kindness, is a note in the melody of humanity. This story isn't just theirs. It's ours, a mirror reflecting the resilience that lives in us all, the power of reaching out, of listening, of loving through the pain. Lena and Walt's journey reminds us that we all carry scars, but we also carry the capacity to heal, to find joy, to make a difference, no matter our age, our past, our battles. So think about a time when a small act of kindness, a shared moment, brought light into your life or someone else's. How did it change you? Drop your story in the comments. We're building a community of hope at Daily Narrated Stories, and your voice matters in this circle of care. Lena and Walt continue to perform, their music a beacon for veterans and their families, their friendship a testament to the power of connection, a legacy that will echo through the years, through every note they play, every smile they share. At Daily Narrated Stories, we live for tales like these, stories of joy and healing that light up the dark, reminding us that even in our busiest moments, we can find harmony, we can find home. Don't let this be the end. Subscribe now, time's ticking, and our next story's waiting, a tale of courage you won't want to miss. Hit that bell, join us before the chance slips away, and let's keep the fire of these life-changing narratives burning bright. Your click could be the spark that gets us to 1,000 subscribers. Do it for Lena, for Walt, for the stories still waiting to be sung. This is your moment. Don't let it fade away.